Well, a new report just released by the Treasury shows that small businesses are getting less access to capital, not more. Loan origination by the 10 largest financial institutions that took TARP funds actually fell in January to 28%. It's a problem the Obama administration is trying to tackle, partly by using $30 billion in TARP funds. In another exclusive interview, we look now at those numbers and the efforts with Karen Mills. She's administrator for the U.S. Small Business Administration. It is so nice to have you on the program.
Delighted to be here.
Give me the state of small business from your standpoint.
Right now, we have a problem with access to capital for small businesses. You know, small businesses are the engine of growth in this economy. They have 65% of the net new jobs that are created, and half the people in this country who own or work for a small business. So if we're going to get back on track, we've got to give them the tools they need to grow and create jobs.
Why? Why aren't they getting access to capital?
Right now, banks are concerned about the squeeze that they're in. And we found that there are two reasons why banks aren't lending. They don't want to take the risk, or they don't have enough capital. So we at the SBA have been able to come up with a 90% guarantee in the Recovery Act. And this year, it's been really successful. We've got about $21 billion we put out in this last year, and we're looking to do more in the next year to back up those banks, help them with the risk.
It's interesting that they say they don't want to take the risk. I mean, this report from Treasury highlighting that 9 of the 10 largest banks that actually received TARP money cut their small business lending in January. You know, what are they saying is the reason? I mean, they're afraid to take the risk, but they took the money in TARP, the TARP money, and we all know that small business is where the job creation is supposed to come from.
That's exactly right. One of the factors here, though, is the community banks. We've been able to get 1,200 community banks back to doing SBA lending who weren't even in the market a year ago. And our SBA lending is back at 2008 and 2007 levels. So we've really been able to come and step up behind the banks and give them some credit support. Because when a good business comes in there, maybe they've had a bumpy quarter or one thing has happened and the bank says, I don't know, maybe I can't lend you. We can come up behind them and say, no, it is a good small business, and we'll give a guarantee behind it.
What about the president's plan in terms of shifting $30 billion from TARP funds into a small business lending program? What are the details? Tell us how that would work.
Well, that's to solve the problem of the banks who say, I'd like to lend, I have the business, but I don't have enough capital. And we have a lot of this problem in community banks. So we have asked the Congress to take $30 billion, it could be from TARP or otherwise, and make it available to small community banks in order for them to lend it out. And the way it works is if they lend it out, the more they lend, the cheaper the rate. It can go down to 1%. So we can get more bang out into the hands of small businesses, and banks are incented to do it because their rate will go down.
What are your thoughts on the smaller banks? I mean, you're talking about small business overall, but I want to ask you about the small banks, which a lot of people believe will really be the companies that see the impact of the potential of a commercial real estate issue. Do you worry about that?
Absolutely. We are very concerned about what's going to happen to commercial real estate, particularly from the perspective of the owner-occupied business. So this is the dentist that owns the dentist's office or the manufacturer that owns the warehouse. And about 5 years ago, 2005, 2006, a lot of these folks took a bullet mortgage, 5 years. Well, now it's 2010, 2011, they're coming due. One of the things that we've proposed in our small business lending package is to help get them an SBA guarantee from one of our programs for refinancing. There's a whole set of things that the President has put before Congress to fill the gap of small business lending. There's a piece for commercial real estate. There's a piece for working capital lines. You know, a lot of businesses had their working capital lines pulled. And there's a piece to help increase the guarantees to help banks take the risk of a good small business that they want to help, but they just can't get there.
All right, we'll leave it there. Karen, great to have you on the program.
Thank you so much.
We so appreciate it. Karen Mills, joining us, Small Business Administration Administrator.